What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Today's video, I got my Traxxas Maxx V2 out on the bench, and I am going to go over the top 5 mods that you should be doing to this truck. This is going to be based on my own experience, and that is kind of how I created the list. So I've been bashing this truck for, I don't know, quite some time now. I've had it, and it's proven to be tons of fun, and it actually really surprises me sometimes how durable it is. Sometimes I crash it and I can't believe it doesn't break. I've only had a few breakages, and we'll touch on those here with this list. But yeah, it's a fun truck. You can see mine's kind of modified here. You can see my Castle motor, ESC. I got different tires, aluminum tie rods. What you can't see is I got the steel drive shafts. I have definitely gone heavier in the oil. I think I got 80 in the back and like 60 in the front, but I got to figure out some other springs that fit on this, because that's kind of one thing I dislike about it is it bounces a lot on landings. But other than that, it's been great. You know, it's a monster truck. It's definitely, you know, not the best handling truck for high-speed cornering or anything like that, but as far as durability and fun factor, it is definitely up there. And it's actually a breeze to work on. This is my first kind of experience with this X-Max kind of chassis, and it really makes me interested in getting a X-Max, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm going to count down. 5 is going to be the least important, rather, and number 1 is going to be my top mod that's really going to increase the fun factor, I guess, on the truck, what I think helped it the most. So let's get into this list. All right, so starting at number 5, it is the least important, and that would be upgrading these tie rods from the plastic units to these aluminum ones from Traxxas. I went with the red because my truck is black and red, as you can see here in my body. So I broke a few of those, and I kind of didn't want to keep buying plastic ones, and I was curious if these aluminum ones are going to hold up, and they've held up. Haven't had any issues with them. They've been holding up strong for me, and they're just a decent little upgrade if you don't want to keep, you know, having to order ones or order a bunch all at one time to have them, you know, on hand in case you do break them. You know, that depends obviously on your driving and how much abuse you're really going to give it, but not something you really need to rush out and get, but you know, it's just something that you might want to consider. So that is why those are coming in at number 5. So moving on to number 4, again, it's going to be replacing something plastic on the truck, and that is I went with the steel drive shafts in there. I busted it off at the yoke on one of them, and I just kind of always feel like plastic drive shafts are like just something that really annoy me, and if I can put metal in there, I would like to go ahead and do that. They were a little pricey, and this truck already comes in with kind of a heavy price tag, and you add all the mods I have up. This is a pretty expensive little 10 scale monster truck, but it performs so well that you kind of have to just kind of look past the price. You always pay that Traxxas tax, but they have great part support and aftermarket stuff, and they kind of get you in the beginning by not offering you like what you want, but that's because a lot of people aren't too serious, right? They'll buy something, use it a few times, and Traxxas kind of, I think, knows that, so they know for most people that they don't have to offer all that high-end stuff. I wish they would do something like Arma and kind of offer like a EXB type of truck, and then you could get that stuff so you wouldn't have to upgrade. But the plastic ones will hold up if you're on stock power, but it depends on your landings, right? I was doing some big jumps, and I think just coming down, just the power or whatever, it just sheared off at the yoke. And I'm the type of person, when I break something, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to upgrade it. So that's what I did. It's coming in at number 4 because it is a solid upgrade, but it's definitely not something you need right away. All right, moving on to number 3. Depending upon, you know, what you think, I think that this is a pretty important one. That's why it's coming in at number 3. I just didn't like the stock servo. I don't like that big servo in there. It was pretty slow, and Traxxas has never really been known for their electronics. and I always just swap out like as soon as I can to a better servo for Traxxas rig, because their servos just aren't the greatest. So I went with a Reefs Raw 500, and it kind of stinks because they use that big servo. So you have to get this adapter piece, but you know, once you have it, I guess you have it. And I went with this nice Vidavon piece, and it even comes with a nice servo arm here. So you have everything you need in that kit. So you get your servo, that Vidavon there, and Traxxas does offer their own, but then you don't get the rest of the nice stuff that I have here on this one. Oh wow, it looks like my servo might be a little loose on here. But yeah, that's, for me, I feel like that's definitely a top 3 upgrade. If I could only do 3 things to the truck, I would definitely be upgrading that servo for sure, because like I said, Traxxas servos haven't ever been reliable for me. That's my experience. Yours could be different, but I've always had them burn out. So I want to say that is like the first mod that I did to the truck was put this Reefs Raw 500 in there, and I was super happy with it. That's like my go-to servo. So once my truck's got that, I definitely have the steering confidence that I'm looking for. So servo comes in at number 3. Alrighty, moving on quick here to number 2, and again, it's an electronics thing, and that would be replacing the stock ESC. The motor seems to be okay. It comes with a fan. I think it's got plenty of power, but you know, if you're craving just a little bit more and you want that reliability, the Traxxas ESCs rather tend to burn out, especially if you're going to try to gear up or anything like that. I had this laying around. Mine actually didn't fail. It's still in working order. I think it did overheat quite a few times. You know, like I said, I had this, but I still feel like if you really want to bash and get the power out of this truck, because I think it can handle it. I see a lot of people going 6S. I don't think I'm going to run this on 6S ever. I could. I don't have the connector, I guess, on here to do that. Kind of 4S trucks are kind of the sweet spot for me. I seem to kind of like those. I like the size factor and everything. I have plenty of 6S rigs, but you know, I do appreciate a fun 4S. Unfortunately, the stock ESC was just a little bit lacking if you want to do backflips and all of that stuff. I don't know, it's just, I had it. I felt like putting it in. The only thing that stinks is mounting it. You can see here I got a zip tie, and I put it on a plate, and then I put a long screw. I drilled through the bottom and then put a nut, custom. So one screw is in the chassis stock, and then I drilled a second hole, put a long screw and a nut, and then I 3M taped the ESC to that plate that is bolted, and then I put this zip tie through, but I did have to put some more holes in the chassis. So I don't think it like weakened it or anything, but that was just something kind of I did for security, because when you're sending this truck, I don't know, you kind of want your ESC, I feel, to stay on. And now that that thing is very secure, I've been sending it, haven't had any issues. I've had a few landings where I was really surprised nothing happened. The durability of this truck amazes me sometimes, to be honest with you. It's really wild. So I put it on number 2 on my list. I know some people might not agree with that, but I always like a good ESC that I can adjust and do things to. So it comes in at number 2, and that again, I'm running the Monster Mamba X and haven't had any problems. All right, guys, coming in down to number 1. Before we get to number 1, I just want to, give a couple honorable mentions, and that is the hubs here. I switched to the regular style, so they don't have that little piece that goes in there. I didn't like that. I don't know why they did that with that weird little nut. So I went ahead and I just put regular old hexes on there. I'll throw the part number up on the screen because there are 2 different ones. You want to make sure you get the right style, and that'll allow you just to put your wheels on without that little plastic insert in the wheel. I don't really know why they went with that, but yeah, that's an honorable mention, I guess, if something like that might be bothering you, whatever, you don't like that little plastic insert, you can go ahead and get rid of that. But here we are, my number 1 upgrade. Just did it, and it's totally changed the truck. I experimented with something different before, but they were too big, but I found the perfect tire, and they are armor tires, believe it or not. These are the backflip LPs. They are the perfect size tire. They're just bigger than the stock bigger than the stock, what are the stock Traxxas tires called? Sledgehammers, I believe. Oh wait, I got some right here. Let me double check. Yeah, so these are sledge ones, but they're the same tire, right? They're definitely a little bit better. I feel the compound, they come pre-vented, but mostly it's not necessarily a traction issue with the tires. It is a size issue. They're just a little bit small, and if you want to do backflips and stuff, and you do the motor and ESC upgrade, you got that power on tap. It's definitely nice to have these tires. I really like how these tires hook up. It's kind of like just always been a great tire, and for this truck I feel like they really transform it into a little backflip machine. It's got that, it's not super long wheelbase, but it's definitely a little bit longer than, like, say, the new Outcast 4S, which I have. I'm gonna get on the channel and get it side by side with this, but the tires are the same on that truck, and I've had experiences with these tires before, so I went ahead and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna order a set so when I do my videos, they both are on the same tires. Just something I kind of wanted to do, but I feel like that is definitely a #1 mod if you just want to change the feel of your truck. Go ahead, get the backflip LPs. I ran Copperhead 2s on it as well, but I think they're just a little bit too big and they just kind of look silly, and they're just a little bit too big in my opinion. So yeah, coming in at #1, swap out for some Armor tires. So that is my #1 mod there, swapping out your tires. I think it totally transforms the truck, and yeah, I really enjoy having these tires on here. Well, all right guys, that is going to conclude my list here for the top 5 mods that you should do to your Traxxas Maxx. According to me, your list may be different. You can put it down in the comments if you like what you would do, your top 5 mods. Let me know. Let me know what you think of this truck. If you got any opinions, do you run one? You know, comment down below, let me know. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.